Have you ever felt like people have different types of brain and then some people are just smarter because of their brain is better? Well, you are correct, sort of. There are actually five different types of brain, and this is not based on the structure of the brain, more of the function of the brain. How was this found? Well, a study was carried out on 150,000 brain scans by physician and psychiatrist Daniel G. Amen, and he was able to classify these brains into five primary categories based on the level of blood flow to certain areas of the brain, as well as the level of activities in certain areas, in which that means some areas had higher activities than some, and then vice versa. In this video, we're going to learn about these five types of brain, and we're going to also discuss how we're going to use that information to improve the way we study, depending on the type of brain that we have. If you'd love to know more about that, then stick around to the end of the video. Hi, my name is Fad and I'm a fourth year nursing student. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you find this video very helpful. Alright, let's begin. Everything in this video is based on this book by Daniel G. Amen. If you want to know more details about the brain types, you should definitely check out the book. The first one is type 1. The balanced brain. According to Daniel Amen, he described this brain as one of the most common type, and then the blood flow to all the areas of most of the areas of the brain are full, symmetrical, and he described them as even. Now, the personalities of people with this kind of brain are usually they are focused, they are flexible, they're emotionally stable. They are those kind of people that show up on time, fulfill their promises, they cope well with life's ups and downs, they're not risk takers, and then they follow the rules strictly. Well, they're basically good people, right? If you relate well with this type of brain, you're probably already good with your studies, and maybe you don't even need this video. But how do you use this information to get better than you already have? Is to simply understand the fact that you have the ability to explore different genres, different topics. You don't limit yourself to a certain topic. You can also even implement different modes of reading. The way you go about reading maths is different from the way you go about reading literature. You can go visual, audio, visual, anything that suits you depending on what it is you're trying to acquire. Next type is the spontaneous brain. Now, this type of brain have low activity in the front area of the brain that we call the prefrontal cortex. People with this type of brain are usually trying out new things, they think outside the box, they have a wide range of interests, they are risk takers. Organization is not really their strong point, and they are usually easily distracted. Well, I don't know why, but something about this brain talking to me. What are the techniques that you can use if you feel that this could be you or relates very much to you? People with this type of brain benefit from short reading sessions as because their concentration lifespan is not so high. Short reading sessions with breaks in between, group discussion, as well as self-quizzing is very instrumental. Then active form of reading, that is when you are in a lecture room or you are trying to read, anything that keeps you actively engaged in the reading process is very useful, like highlighting or taking down notes. Also, implementing visual aids in your reading techniques like mind mapping, using of diagrams, charts, videos, charts, whatever works for you. The next one is the type 3, the persistent brain. Now, this type of brain have increased activity in the front area of the brain also, that we call the anterior cingulate gyrus. People with this type of brain are usually strong-willed. They don't really take no for an answer. They believe in their routine, and whenever this routine changes, they find it difficult to adapt. Basically, they are not really flexible. Once they are used to a certain pattern of doing things, when that thing changes, they struggle. Now, if you feel this could be you, what do? Well, reading techniques that you can use first is to set clear goals. Ensure that your goals are clear, the objective of whatever you want to read is clear. Also, follow a structured reading pattern, then outline and summarize key points, then also focus on the study material. All of this is surrounding the fact that people with this type of brain may tend to go extra in their reading, because normally most people would just to read a certain course, you just go ahead and pick up the study material for that course and read it, and maybe one textbook. But most of these people with this type of brain might want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 textbooks and then get distracted with all the lots of information. Stick to the study material as well as outline key points and then make your reading surround those key points. Next is the type 4, the sensitive brain. In this brain type, there's increased level of activity in the limbic system. The limbic system is the emotional center of the brain, and so you see people like this, their personality are usually very empathetic, they are deeply moved by music, movies, art, anything basically, and they can't really handle anything aggressive or violent or hateful speeches. Now, if you relate very well to this type of brain, what do you do? Well, first of all, is you should definitely be implementing group discussions in your reading, because if you are in this category, it means you do very well when you have support and then you relate well with people, and so you should definitely implement group discussion in your reading style. Then also read in a very quiet and calm environment. Next, we have the type 5, the cautious brain. In this type of brain, there is increased activity in the anxiety center of the brain, like the basal ganglia, the insular cortex, amygdala. These areas of the brain are what regulates the anxiety levels, and so, like you'd already guess, people like this are usually very anxious, and so you always have that, you always see them afraid of classes, or afraid of lecturers, or afraid of exams, afraid of tests. They are very scared of failure. It's a deep fear for failure, so this affects their performances severely. Even when they are very well prepared for an exam, they still go to the exam and underperform due to the fear, just fear of failure. And this really hinders them from really tapping into their potentials and achieving based on how smart they are. They can be very smart and yet still underperform because of the anxiety. Now, one of the very first techniques you should use if you feel you fall into this category, find a way to tame your anxiety. No matter what works for you, whatever works for you is what you should be doing. There are so many ways you can go about this. Relaxation techniques like meditations and deep breathing exercises, most especially deep breathing exercises before your exam, it helps to calm your nerves. Once you're able to control the level of anxiety, then you'll be able to really see improvements in your performances. Also, study in a very calm and quiet environment. Follow a structured reading pattern, like a reading timetable. Why this is so is because when you're following a structured reading pattern, you don't feel like you're lagging behind, because the moment you feel like you're lagging behind, then you're going to start feeling anxious, which is what we are trying to prevent. Now, just before we wrap up this video, I want you to know that you might not really exactly fall into a particular category. You might relate to 1, 2, maybe 3 categories of brain types. I think we can call that category like hybrid. Also, please like the video and then consider subscribing too. Yeah. Thanks. Now, many of us don't know that there are certain reading techniques that are not so effective. We were never really taught how to read, and so we just came up with certain things, or we see our friends doing certain things and we go, it's really nice, but we don't really know exactly works and what does not work. Well, this video on screen right now is all about that. It teaches you everything you need to know about reading techniques that are very effective, so check it out.